Are you like me? Did you at some point think that side planks were just silly? Just those silly side planks? Well, my goal here today is to make those silly side planks become special. I want them to be special side planks. Time ago, before all this hair was gray and I was clean shaven, back in those days of the early fitness school, we were learning about side planks. And I've got to be honest, there was no real instruction about the side planks. It was more like, here's how you do it. Watch me. Now you do it. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up in their side planks, is that they don't know the meaning. They don't know the intention of what the side plank is for. Because obviously, if I'm doing a video about this, it's a pretty darn good exercise. So when we set up in our side plank, the thing is that we're working in a frontal plane. We're resisting frontal plane movement. And this is so important for all those things, even to the basic thing of walking. Now, you've got those three planes of motion. We've talked about it before. I don't need this to be a lesson in biomechanics. But you have your sagittal plane, which is up and down, right? It cuts you right down the middle. So you're going up and down, you're going forward and backwards. This is the plane of motion that we spend a lot of our time in. The next plane of motion is that frontal plane. So that frontal plane cuts us down the side. So we're split in front and back halves. So that's where that side plank really comes into. So when I'm lying on the ground, it's more of the weight of gravity trying to pull me down in that sideways position. So I'm trying to resist sinking in and giving into that side. So by building up that strength, I'm not going to name muscles here, but we create those lines. We have this lateral line in our body, which is a lot of the stuff. Obviously, lateral is more the side. And this helps us stabilize so much. As I mentioned, walking daily, moving these different planes of motion that you do outside. Because a lot of times outside of the gym, we're moving a lot more differently than we do inside the gym. And so we need to prepare for that. We need to be in a controlled, chaotic environment here in the gym, that we can be better for that uncontrolled, chaotic environment called life. And I know this might come off as sounding kind of goofy. The name of the gym is Fitness Lying Down. What do you expect?
Good point.
When I set up in a side plank, I don't want to think about pushing my body off the floor. I don't want to think about lifting my body off the floor. I'm going to go to another level of consciousness here. I want to feel my body light. And I feel my body drifting away from the floor. It's almost like levitating. It just floats up there. And what we do here to make our side planks more special here at Fitness Lying Down is we use our ultimate sandbag as one of those main implements. We grab the suitcase handle of that ultimate sandbag. And by pulling the slack out of that suitcase handle, I'm creating stability on my top part of my lat. And that's going to have that connection, because what I'm focused on here in my side plank is my bottom side hip. So if I can make that diagonal line across the body and make the connection, I'm able to hold that more strongly because I'm more efficient. And that's another one of those fancy lines that we use when we're looking at the body's movement. So we have that lateral line, the line that goes right up and down the body. But we also have that posterior oblique sling system that connects that upper back to that opposite glute. So we're making all those connections. So if I'm using that ultimate sandbag and I'm pulling the slack out, creating that extra amount of stability, and I couple that with the lightness in my body, my side plank is going to be so much more efficient. And I'm going to get better at that side plank. I'm going to get better at resisting frontal plane. So when it comes to doing exercises where I am moving in the frontal plane, lateral lunges, lateral squats, lateral power cleans, all these different things, crossovers, all this stuff where I'm trying to stabilize so I'm not swaying side to side. Anytime I sway side to side when I don't want to, I'm giving into the frontal plane. And that's putting risk into my body. I become vulnerable in those certain areas. So when I can seal up those energy leaks, I can become more strong, more stable in that frontal plane, I'm unstoppable. So think about that now. A couple tips. Use that implement. Get yourself an ultimate sandbag. Get that slack pulled out. Create that lightness in your body so that you're not rising up and becoming all rigid, but let those shoulders soften up. Let your body levitate away from the floor. And my friends, let's make some frontal plane strides here. You're welcome.